All right, so welcome to the Writers Business School. I'm Melissa Sherlin, and these are the 5 simple skills you need to sell your books. And now as writers, we've collected a lot of information from the start of our writing career or authorship until the present. I've found every writer I know is an information collector, and that goes for all of these skills. So you've probably uncovered part of it or seen parts, but the Writers Business School, we show you how to put them all together. So let's get going. All right. Now, a lot of you are here because you might have heard or felt this horrible, horrible fact. It's 90% of books created today sell fewer than 100 copies each. No matter if you're self-published or through a large publisher, that's the terrible truth. And Writers Business School, we are determined to change that information. We want everyone to sell as many books as they possibly want to get the money they want. And so what we'll cover tonight is I'm going to tell you actually what best-selling actually means. Once you know the actual definition on how they calculate a best-selling book, it really, really changes how you approach this let's sell some books thing. Okay? We'll talk about the book launch process. Then we'll go into the 5 skills you need to sell your books. It's a lot of information. So I will give you some really good specifics on what you can do with each of those 5 skills. So I'll give you something you can do today to get that part of your author career rolling. After that, there's a where to start, so how to put it all together, and then how to improve those things. All right, so let's start with what best-selling actually means. Now, if you look up the word best-selling in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it will tell you that best-selling is an adjective, and the definition is of a book or other project having very large sales, very popular, right? This does absolutely nothing for authors, okay? That's not how they calculate a best-selling book. Okay, we need a little bit more quantifiable information. And so actually what a best-selling book is, and when you see the term best-selling, this is what it actually means. Right? A best-selling book is a book that ships more units than any other book in its category over a 6-day period from Tuesday to Sunday. Look at that, there's a typo, in. But best-selling is best shipped. All right, it's the person who ships the most number of books between Tuesday and Sunday. Monday does not count because that's when they tally the results. Okay, so you have to also think of that when you're selling, how to get to best selling. Now, what does this actually mean for you? This is actually really, really awesome news for everyone that is trying to sell books. Okay? That's why I put the let's party there. Because all it means is you need to ship more books out than everybody else in those 6 days. Okay? Like, well, I'm having trouble getting one out. No, there's ways to do that, but really it's about pre-sales. Okay? Pre-sales are wonderful because it means someone has promised to buy the book before it's available, which means you can ship all those books that are waiting until the book is available. You can ship them out. All of those books will count towards your best-selling, and that is how basically every book gets on. It's the pre-sales list. Okay? Now you can have one of those slow burn books where you sell a few this week and a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more. And you can actually sell hundreds of thousands of books that way. But with just a few books sold every week, you're not going to make the bestsellers list. Okay? All right. Also, this means that you have to find people to buy your book before you actually have a real cover. Okay? Now, there are ways to engage people to buy your stuff and get excited about it, to save up their money before it's actually a book. That's part of the book launch process, right? And also, you can have a way to keep tabs on the readers who liked your other books so you can tell them about the new books coming up. I know it sounds really basic, but people forget that. If someone has bought a book, that means they like books. Someone who has a book never has just one book. We always need more books if we have books. And if they liked one of the books you wrote before, they are very, very interested in your next book. Okay? And then working with your publisher to get your book to the smallest category possible. Now, I think I might have blown a few brains there, but yes, you want to narrow down your target as small as possible so that that category you're in, you're not, beating out, let's say, a really, really popular general book like nonfiction. You want a really specific like nonfiction on this subtopic and this subtopic and this subtopic. Okay? Now, we've all picked up information along the way that says, oh yes, you want to have a genre book. Like if you write fiction, you want to have, let's say you write, I'll have a lot of friends that write horror. They'll do horror, but they'll have different categories of horror. They'll have like supernatural horror, or they'll really narrow down. One of my friends wrote a supernatural steampunk vampire horror book. It was such a niche market, but they got best-selling in their category because they didn't have to ship out that many with that small niche. So definitely work with your publisher so you guys can understand where to target your book from. And that's a skill too, working with the publisher. All right. And also, to make those books move in that first 6-day period, if you're shooting for the bestseller list, or whatever 6-day period you choose. It doesn't have to be the first week your book is out. It could be a month after, or it could be a relaunch of an older book. But you want to work with your distributors to ship the books. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but years and years ago when Oprah had her talk show, she'd have a book on her reading list and it instantly went #1 best-selling, and guaranteed the author to have basically a wonderful publishing career, except for one author. And the reason was because he forgot to tell his publisher that he was going to go on Oprah. I don't know how you forget that, but by the time his publisher found out, they didn't have enough time to warn the distributor to make more books and then distribute them. They had the books made, but they didn't have the infrastructure to distribute that many books. So yes, he sold over 1 million copies, but those 1 million copies went out slowly because the distributor wasn't ready. So these are all cogs in the wheels that authors really don't think about a lot, but each part is very, very important. Okay, so to hurt you guys a little more, quality writing does not equal quality book sales, okay? Because best-selling means number of books shipped. Books shipped has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of content of those books, okay? Your quality business skills equate to quality book sales. The more business skills you have, the more books you can sell, okay? Moving books is a business skill. Writing awesome books is a writing skill. Okay? When you combine quality business skills with quality writing skills, then you have repeat sales and a reliable writing career. Okay? But please stop falling for the lie that good writing equals good sales, because sales has nothing to do with quality writing. We all have seen tons and tons of terrible books that sell really well. You have proof it's nothing to do with the writing. It has to do with the business skills. And that's what I'm going to show you, these 5 skills you guys need. All right. So what does this actually mean for you, where business skills equals book sales? Okay? It means getting to the bestsellers list is a learnable skill. Okay? Yes, you learned how to write really well. Business skills do not take anywhere near as much time to learn. They're actually really, really quick to learn. And when you learn a few repeatable business skills, you can get the publishing career you've always wanted. Okay? And believe me, it is so much easier than writing. All right. So show you how this works with the book launch process. Now, a lot of people think, oh, you know what? I have this book. I'll toss it out. It comes out on a Tuesday, and then I will just, I'll schedule some things, and it'll be great. Or I'll just put it up on Amazon and it will sell. That's not actually how it works. 20 years ago even, if you were working with a big publisher, that's how it appeared, because all the writer had to do was to deliver their manuscript to the publisher, and the publisher took care of everything and said, hey, show up at this spot and this spot and do a book signing and, travel over there and talk to somebody, we got the rest. That's not how the publishing world is anymore. Okay? So authors really need to understand the process of their book's life cycle. Okay? Now, a lot of people think that it starts with launch day. That's actually not the beginning. Okay? When you've submitted your book to the publisher, or you're thinking about submitting it to the publisher, that's when the before launch things happen. When you're getting everyone excited to buy the book you have as soon as it comes available, okay? By doing fun things and sharing information they find valuable. Okay? That's one of the skills we're going to talk about. Then you have your launch day that really ratchets it up. You remind everybody, hey, buy the book. Maybe there's some bundling deals where you can say, hey, if you buy the book right now, I'll give you this other thing for free. And, it makes the book seem, even though they don't know what's in the book, maybe they have a good idea, but, makes it seem like a better value and more fun, right? After you have your launch day, you go through the launch. And a book launch, depending on the size, goes from about a month to 3 months past the launch day, your book birthday. And then after the launch, you really have to look at everything that worked and ask yourself, and the stuff that didn't work, and ask yourself why. Okay? A lot of people look at the stuff that doesn't work and says, oh, that stinks. It's because I messed up. That's not why. That's not answering. And also, it's just as important to look at the things that went well and say, why did that happen? Because if something went well, you can repeat it. So everything we show you at the Writers Business School is actually repeatable steps, because we think of this whole thing like a dance, where the more you do it, the better you get at the dance steps. And the more you can kind of improvise and add your own, panache to it. Okay? And then after your book has been out for 3 months or so, you've looked at everything, you've kind of thought, okay, next time I'm going to try this. And, I'll take the parts that worked really well and I'll add in some new stuff that I heard about during the tour and everything. Okay? Then you're in the between books, because everybody has more than one book in them. All right. And there's a whole bunch of fun things you can do while you're writing to keep all those awesome readers who liked your book and interacted with you during your launch excited and gearing up for the next one, even telling their friends about it. Okay, so without further ado, the 5 skill sets you need to sell your books. We've broken down this huge topic of business skills that writers need into 5 skill sets. The first one we call platform. And you'll see in our logo there's a little purple arrow where it starts, because basically it all starts on platform. Platform is a raised surface that you stand on, but actually it's your connection to the world and the impact that you as a human being want to make in the world. Okay? We all have one, and this skill set is really honing down and distilling that into words. Okay? The next is reader stewardship. That's all the skills to keep your readers engaged. I think of reader stewardship as playing with your readers, who are just friends that you don't really know that well. But you use your platform to engage with these readers. That's how you find your ideal reader. And that's how you narrow down, so you're just spending your energy and time and fun on people who naturally want the information that you have to share from your platform. Then we have publisher relations. This is really the relationship you have with your publisher and other people working to get your book into the world, right? So it's, how to work with your publisher, how to work with your distributors, how to work with other authors to really help everyone move their book forward. Okay. The next is my absolute favorite. Call it distribution. But distribution is the fun. Once you get this down, it turns the whole book selling thing into a winnable game. It's really just awesome. If you like organizing, distribution is the most exciting part. And finally, the last skill set, tying it all together, is what we call book launch. Um, it's basically the before, during, and after of the process. And it ensures that you're showing your book to people who are intrinsically would find it of value and collect it or buy it without leaving your integrity. Okay, you can stay in integrity and still have a wonderful publishing career. So put those all together, and those are the business skills that authors need to understand to sell more books. Now, as I've said, everyone's gone through and we've collected pieces, or you've seen pieces of this working through through just your activities as an author. Okay, but I'm going to show you as you walk through where they all fall in, and then as I explain them each in more detail, I'll give you like one thing you can do tonight to strengthen that skill. Okay, so let's start with the first one, platform. Okay? I know there's a lot of text on this slide, but let's go through it. Platform is just the unifying idea that it's part of everything you do and write and are in the world. Okay, and it's worked its way into every facet of your life. Even if you don't know it, it's there. It's kind of weaseled its way in. Once you start looking and peeling back, you're like, hey, it came up again. This idea came up again. That's because it's there. Okay, and why we start with platform is because selling books is a process, and to stick with any kind of process, even a step-by-step simple process, you need to have a why. So your platform is really your answer to why bother. You know, I'm sure we just had a holiday in the United States. You know, everyone's sitting around the table and the relatives like, oh, how'd your book do? Oh, so-and-so. How'd that do? Right? Your platform will help you answer those questions and really, you know, boil down and direct all of your marketing promotions and help you make decisions more clearly because you're already using this to make decisions in your life. Okay? There are millions and millions of people on this planet who already agree with whatever your platform is. They are interested in it, they are collecting information on it, and if it's a topic you love to share and talk about, they will collect it. You're going to find your ideal reader in that crowd of people who agree with your platform. And from your ideal reader, you're going to hone down and get some super fans that will help you and show up at your events and all that fun stuff. Okay? Okay, so where is platform and how to use it? Okay? I have a picture that says welcome home because really your platform is already in you. Okay? But using platform, your book is not for everyone. I know talk to so many authors and they're like, well, I don't want to do this because I might turn some people off of buying my book and I need them to buy my book. No. Be yourself. Do what you think is right for your book. And the people who are interested will buy your book. Okay? If you can't be yourself, then the people that you're turning off, they're not interested in your book anyway. Okay? So don't waste your time on that, okay? Your book is only for your ideal reader, okay? The ideal reader is the person who connects with your platform and reads in the genre you enjoy writing in, okay? So not everyone that likes your platform is going to read your genre, but people who like your platform and agree with your platform probably know a handful of people who read in your genre, and they will tell those people, hey, you've got to buy this book from this awesome person I know because they're an author and I'm sure their book is awesome. Okay? Even if they don't read what you write. Okay? Doing this will help you make decisions for your career so you're not wasting your energy and time directing yourself towards people that aren't interested. Okay? It's much more fun to talk to people who like and agree with what you like to talk about than to battle through with people that don't. And then because you're sharing this platform topic, it opens up avenues to share your ideas. Where you can share your ideas are more people interested, and you can place your book in places where people that are naturally interested congregate. Right, see? Place your book in places where ideal reader naturally can discover it. So that way, you're not selling, okay? You are sharing information that you love. And oh, by the way, I'm also a writer, okay? I know it sounds strange, but a lot of authors only market to other authors. And yes, don't get me wrong, authors, we love books. We love to buy books. We love to buy books of our friends. But you need to market to readers. Okay. So I'm going to show you the next slide is one thing you can do today to help uncover your platform. Okay. And really, the more work you do on this, the clearer you get, the easier it will be to make your decisions. But answer the question, if more people did blank, there would be world peace. I know, sounds weird, but go with me on this one. I'm going to show you ours, Melissa Sherlin and Rhoda Goffstein. Yes, that's me on the left in the blue. Okay. We're both best-selling authors. I'm nationally and internationally award-winning. I've been at this for 30 years. And we have discovered our platforms. They're completely different platforms. My platform is based on creating healthy communication. And it opens up avenues where I talk about anti-bullying and teaching people the skills they need to create and sustain the life they want through using healthy communication, conflict resolution, fun stuff like that, to make people have the life that they want to live. Rona's my awesome business partner. Her platform centers around, expressing your heart's desire, because when more people express their heart's desire and live the life that they want, there'll be world peace. Okay? So hers turns around like empowering people, and it's great. We have very similar, hey, if people lived the life they wanted to, there'd be world peace. But we're going about it in two totally separate ways. I go about it, I talk to I work with a lot of women's shelters. I get asked to speak at community events, and there's a national adult bullying week I found out about a couple years ago, and I talk to them every couple of months. I go into schools and I talk about what they can do to stop bullying. Most of the places I talk at or speak at, I'm the only author in the room, and it's, oh, by the way, I also write. Okay, having your platform opens up tons of avenues like that. Okay, so really work on it. More people did this one thing, there'd be world peace. Okay? Next week, our free class is on how to build your platform, just getting you started. So sign up for that. We're going to move on and get them all in there. Okay, the next thing is reader stewardship, right? This is the playing with your readers part. But actually, it's a process to continually connect and engage with current and new readers to create fans of your work, okay? Also, this world, and we are very overstimulated. So it used to be, back when I started, if someone saw your face like 3 times, they'd think that they had a relationship with you. And then somewhere in the 90s, it turned to like if they saw your face 7 times, they'd assume they had some kind of a relationship with you. Now, in today's world with the internet, someone needs to see your face between 12 and 15 times to start thinking they have an relationship with you. Okay? Reader stewardship is to build that familiarity. Okay? So you can connect with them, but you're connecting through this topic that you both love, so it's fun. Okay? So you engage your ideal reader in a way that's fun for both of you. Okay? And that way you don't turn into the friend that only talks to you when they want something from you. Right? We always have that. We all have that friend, huh? They only call when they need something. Hey, can you do this for me? So great to hear from you. I need something. Okay? Don't be that friend. Reader stewardship makes sure that you're not that person, that you are a valuable resource and fun part of their lives. Okay? And again, I think of it as playing with your readers because it's just fun. Notice it's red in our logo, so it's the process. Okay? All right, so where to use reader stewardship? Like I said, it's a continual process, and there's actually like a little cone or funnel, right? It starts off with the entire world, and then people fall into some people that read your stuff. Now, everyone who reads your stuff is not going to like it, okay? They might read it because they like you, or somebody gave them a book, okay? From the people who read your stuff, you're going to get a smaller group of people who are fans of your work, okay? That's wonderful. That's when you can start, having fun activities with them, okay? Some fans are going to turn into your super fans. And your super fans will do great things like rearrange their entire day to come see you at an event and save up tons of money and sick days so they can buy your book as soon as possible and then take a day off to read it. All right? But that's what super fans do. Okay? So reader stewardship is a process. It involves email lists. A lot of you, this email list thing has come up a lot. That's because the email list is a way to connect with readers who like your stuff. In the business world, people who like your stuff and are already communicating with you in a back and forth kind of dialogue, they're considered warm leads, which means it won't take that much effort for you to say, place your book in front of them and say, hey, look, here's a book for sale. It's the same topic you like. You should try it. And for them to say, yes, that would be awesome, and pick it up, okay? Email lists start there, okay? Also, reader stewardship, it makes people want to show up at your events. People need warning ahead of time for this because they've got to rearrange their day. Also, giving them little prizes if they actually show up. If you emailed 20 people saying, hey, if you show up to my event, I will give you this free short story, you can kind of track to see, look at that, 5 people actually rearranged their day and came to see me. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay? If they're doing that effort, they should get a prize besides the joy of meeting you. Okay? Also, your reader stewardship, it gets people excited about the book before it comes out with pre-sales and bundling and grouping your book with a whole bunch of other things that they can buy in a little group. And it moves a lot of books. Okay? And then if you're not having a good time with your reader, they're not having a good time either, okay? You want readers people who are interacting with you to have a good time because your book is actually a mini vacation, okay? If they don't have fun interacting with you, they're not going to enjoy going on vacation with you, okay? So whatever you think of or think that would be fun way to share and interact with people who like your platform, that targets these ideal readers who would have a good time with that too. Because if they're having a good time doing what you like to do, they will also enjoy reading your book. Okay? All right, putting that all together. Boop. Like I said, our platform provides the specific topic. It helps direct activities and rewards. The people I work with have a completely different expectations for the books that I'm going to give. I write I'll tell you, I write romantic comedies and dark fiction. Yes, with healthy communication, I share. And when people interact with me as an author, they are expecting a different experience than, say, someone interacting with my friend who, not Rona, another person named Scott Galdward, he writes really awesome horror. But his platform is completely different than mine. We attract 2 completely different people. Even when I'm writing dark fiction, we go after completely different people, okay? But his rewards would not attract my people. My people would not, his people would not be interested in what I give my readers, okay? That's why when you go to an event or you do something that a different author is doing and it works really well for them, but it's not working for you, it's because of the reader stewardship program. You're just targeting different people. Okay. All right, the next one. So one thing you can do today to improve your reader stewardship skills. Okay. Okay. Now, going to seem strange because there's no readers in this, but you want to join a group which promotes your platform topic. Okay? It sounds strange, but you want to be involved in a community that promotes your platform. That's because your ideal readers are naturally congregating there. Okay? There are already some readers that would really, really enjoy your work in the same group. Okay? So you want to join it. One, you'll have the personal, rewards of doing something good that you find valuable in the world. But two, as you're doing these awesome things, you'll meet some people who are really going to enjoy your book. Okay? Or if that's not your thing, you can make a list of the fun things you'd like to do with your favorite author. Okay? Now remember, you're an author now. So everything fun you wish you could do with your favorite author is what your readers are going to wish they could do with you. Okay? Rona has a book coming out in a couple months. We're putting together her book tour, and part of it is she's taking some of her awesome readers on a shopping trip. We're going to rent a party bus, and they're going to go shopping at different stores that she loves, and people are already excited about it. It's almost, well, if we haven't opened it up for sales yet, but people are very excited, and we might have to order a bigger bus. But it's very exciting. Okay, so whatever you think is fun, that's a good way to interact with your readers. Okay, all right, the next one. I'm doing this fast. Publisher relations. Okay, now this is the relationship you, the author, have with your publisher. Okay, this relationship is supposed to benefit both of you. When you have a relationship that helps everybody involved, it's called a joint venture. But really, it means that you're working together towards the same goal. Okay? And you're working together for the same goal. Understand that the success of your book in sales is tied directly to how well your publisher sells and distributes books. Okay? I'm the bestseller for every single publisher I've ever worked with because I have business skills. Depending on the size of the publisher, depends on how many books get moved. Okay? But that's what publisher relations is. Okay? And you use this to really set expectations for you and your publisher. Okay? There's two sides of the coin, right? There's what the author needs to do and the timeline that the author is under, and the timeline that the publisher needs to do, and the pressures that they're under. Okay? Both of you can get tripped up in certain areas, and if you are your own publisher, that just means you're wearing two hats. So you still need to understand both sides. Okay? And at the Writers Business School, we show you that. Okay? So also, you want to choose your publisher based on if they're already targeting your ideal reader. Okay? This is why a lot of new writers, they'll just send tons of stuff out to every publisher on the planet, and they'll get so many rejections, it just guts them. It's because you get turned away a lot of times because the publisher sees very clearly that you're not targeting the same people. Okay? Your publisher knows how to sell to their people. So if you're not trying to target the same ideal reader, they're going to have a harder time moving that book. Okay? Also with publisher relations, we cover all the stuff to build beneficial relationships with others who target your ideal reader. Now, it's a long way of saying other authors who have the same platform. Right? In the world today, in any industry, there's more people who are competitors working together. Okay? It's cooperative capitalism. But really, if you work together, you can reach more people. So if you have an author friend who writes the same books, but everything you try, you copy them and it doesn't work out as well, it's probably because you're targeting different readers. But if you're at an author event and you really click with this author, some other author, writes in a different genre, it doesn't matter. You probably share the same platform. Okay? The more you get to know them, it's like, hey, we're both kind of targeting the same kind of ideal reader. Even though it's different genres, let's work together because things that they do are probably going to help you more and things that you do are going to help them more than any other author at the event things. Okay. All right. And then you use your publisher's business skills and your platform with reader stewardship to reach new readers. Okay. So you can expand and grow. Okay. Okay. So one thing you can do today. Ready? First, you can make a list of other authors in your with your platform and reach out to them. Okay. So you've been to author groups. Hopefully, you've met other authors or attend an author thing in your area. Okay. And just get to know some other authors. Okay. If they have the same platform as you or the same kind of topics they like talking about, then how you interact with your readers is probably going to be the same. Okay. You can work together and share ideas. Or you can talk to your publisher and ask them what they wish authors knew about their job. Okay. Really just I like doing it over a cup of coffee, but you can, if your publisher really far away, you can call them up and just say, hey, what do you wish I knew about your job? What do you wish other authors knew about your job? You know, and it'll just really help expose all the wonderfully creative things that go on the other side of that coin. Okay. All right. So that's publisher relations. The next one is distribution, my favorite. Yay! Okay, distribution is really about getting your books into the hands of the readers in all of those things that happen for that to physically take place. For some reason, authors think of this as the dead time in their book, but it's really not. There are so many ways that distribution can get hung up or slowed down. And just a few little tricks can push it ahead and keep everything running and really improve your sales just by simple little tweaks. Okay, and really it turns this whole thing into a winnable game. Okay, and of course it makes the process repeatable and predictable. That's the best part. I love it. I love doing the same things over and over if they work. But that predictability with the space and room where I can be creative if I want to, that's what I love about distribution. Okay. So more specifically, where you can use this, it's a process to determine how successful your efforts have been and where you need to improve them. Okay. It's the asking, okay, what went well and why? Okay. Let's say you attended an event and you had, let's say the event had like 100 people and only like 5 people stopped by your table. Okay. There's a reason why only 5 people stopped by. You really can look at that and choose, okay, maybe I was sitting down too much, or oh, I was at the panel and I forgot to put up a sign, so they must have thought I left. Okay. Also the flip side, if you are at an event and there's 100 people and it seems like everybody came to your table and people were coming across the room and saying, oh, so-and-so told me I had to come over here and talk to you. Okay, that went really well. You also have to ask yourself, why did that go really well? Okay, when it goes well, ask yourself why. And you can say like, okay, well, before the event, I got there early and I went around and I talked to people, right? Maybe that's all it was. Or like, oh, maybe I set my table up differently and, whatever. Just look at what you did differently. That can help make things easier next time. And then you can do them the next time you go to an event. The things that worked and the things that didn't work, you can take them out of your steps. Okay. Also, my favorite is capture rate. Has anyone heard of capture rate before? All right, we have a whole class on this, so I can't go over it, but capture rate is a number. So based on the size of the people attending an event or going to a website, you can predict how many books you'll sell. Now, when you do this and you figure out your capture rate, so many authors have a capture rate of less than 1%. That's because they're not directing their actions. They're not targeting their readers. They're trying to be everything to everybody, and that's just not how it works. So we have some very specific ways to figure out your capture rate. And then the best part, we have very specific ways to improve that number and get it up to a great number. My capture rate is around 89%, which makes publishers salivate. But if I'm at a group that has just my ideal readers at it, I can be even closer to 100%, okay? You're shooting for something around 25. So you have to work up to that number though, okay? All right, so if you're going after a New York publisher or, big city publisher, you're going to hear like, oh, well, they wanted me to have an email list of over 8,000 active subscribers, right? If you've ever heard of that, that's because these large New York publishers know how to turn those 8,000 people who are actively, interacting with you and playing with you into 1.2 million people interacting. And from that, they can get a New York Times best-selling book, okay? Because they know their capture rate and they know how to look at it and say, oh, what worked and what didn't, okay? That's the only difference between you and them, is a little bit of information that you can learn, okay? So one thing you can do today, you can figure out your capture rate. It's based on the number of people come through the room, how many books you'll sell, or you can find out how your publisher distributes your book. Now, it's in your contract, but really you want to find out who does it. Where is it made? Your books are made somewhere and then they're shipped to a distribution center or service or whatever. How long does that trip take? Which service are they using? And then how long from when the order comes in to it being shipped out does it take? Because that's actually a window of time that happens, okay? They don't get the call like, okay, I need 5,000 books. Those 5,000 books need to be created and then shipped to the distribution and then shipped out to the readers or wherever you're going. Okay, that's why it takes time. You want to know how much time that is. All right, the last step, the fifth step, book launch, is our yellow in the logo. This is the three-phase process with specific steps for before, during, and after your release date to get your books out into the world to the largest number of people who are your ideal readers. Okay, it all hinges on release day, which is only the midpoint. Just like launching a rocket into space, a lot of work went on before those 20 seconds of excitement, and there's a lot of work after those 20 seconds. All those scientists have spent years and years and years to get the rocket into space so they can do their work. So there's a lot of work after launch besides just the excitement of the rocket going into the atmosphere. Okay? A good, solid book launch takes 9 to 12 months to fully prepare to get the most bang out of it. We have a simple book launch with the basic steps you need, the different categories, kind of like a choose your own adventure. You can pick things like an outfit, put it together. Once you get the basics down, then you can just add. You don't want to do everything at once because you'll get overwhelmed and you won't be able to track what actually worked. So you won't be able to tell what went well and what didn't. Okay? Everything you put into your book launch, you want to be able to track to tell if it went well. Okay? If you don't have the 9 to 12 months, let's say your book just came out, or like, oh, you're thinking about relaunching, but it's going to be next month. There are some things you can do right now to get started. But remember, people need warnings. They need to, save up some money and get directions and be reminded over and over again to put something on their schedule. So that's what the book launch is. It's getting people ready to take action when you want them to take action. So basically anything that would motivate you will probably motivate you. Anything fun that would motivate you will motivate your ideal reader. Okay? I know a lot of us are motivated by things that aren't fun. Don't do that to your readers, okay? Remember, your book is their vacation, okay? And again, the book launch is a repeatable process. So each time you run through it, you get better at it. You reach more people, you sell more books, and you can add to it. The more time you have to prepare, that means the more things you can add to your book launch and not be like run off your feet. Okay? So where to use book launch? Like I said, it is it's a step. It's like a dance. Okay. So book launch is really to keep you sane and focused during all the stages of your book, the birth of your book. Okay. There are some things that you can pretty much set on autopilot that you set up beforehand, and then you start running them during the launch. It frees up time for in-person events or online events, interviews, stuff like that. All of these things coming together gets you in front of more of your ideal reader, which will give you more sales and more fun. Okay? You first want to start with the basics. Once you get the basics, then you can add to it because you know where to add to it and how to add to it. Okay? And like I said, it's dance steps before, during, and after. So before, you work on your reader stewardship to, using your platform, sharing information with people who are interested, get them excited and interacting. And then, when it's time, you can let them know, hey, I have this book coming out, and they'll be happy. They'll be more than happy and ready to go buy it and leave your reviews and all that fun stuff. Okay? Also beforehand, you want to work with your publisher relations and make sure that they have everything that they need from you, and then you have everything you need from them. Okay? Distribution, that's for during, along with publisher relations and events. You have your distribution of getting the books out on a timely fashion and making sure all the little gears are rolling. And then after, it's figuring out what went well and what needs improvement. Okay? Ask yourself, why did it go well? Not just why did it go wrong. Okay? Why did it go well? That'll actually answer more questions and help you next time. Okay? All right. So the one thing you can do today to help with your book launch process, regardless of where you are in your current book process, okay, is to look at your last launch and look at what went well and why, and then also look at separately what needs work and why. Okay, we suggest at least 5 events for the book launch. The more you have, the easier, or you'll get in front of more ideal readers. But start with 5, you can track that. And don't forget, you can run through your book launch process more than once for a book. Just because your book's been out for a couple months or even a couple years doesn't mean you can't relaunch it. Even the same exact edition doesn't mean you can't relaunch it. Okay? You can. Or you can come up with one fun activity to sell your book. Okay? I love doing this. Rona says I am a fiend with marketing, and it's fun. Okay? I told you that Rona has a launch coming up, and we are putting together a shopping trip with her readers. Her readers, they like that. She loves shopping and the fun of it. I'm not much into it, but she loves it, and to hear her talk about it, she's so excited. We've bundled the shopping trip with a copy of her book. So we already have pre-sales ready. Okay? So that's what we're talking about. Come up with one fun activity to sell your book. Is one fun thing you can do with your readers beforehand that they can pay for and also get a copy of your book. Your book will be included in the price. So if your book is $7.95, then make whatever it is you're offering them $8 more to cover the copy of the book. Okay. All right. Okay, so we covered a lot of information. Hopefully your brains are not bursting, and hopefully I've energized you and you're like, wow, these are some really great pieces, and I can see where my information fits in and stuff. You've gathered all those things. Everything you've gathered is valuable. You just need a framework and to fill in all the empty bits, okay? So we made a questionnaire based on the 5 skill sets. It's on our homepage at writersbusinessschool.com. It's like halfway down the page. It's a skill set questionnaire, and it will show you where the biggest gaps in your understanding are, so you can really concentrate on learning and filling the holes that you have. Okay. When you take this questionnaire, you will see that you are naturally good at something already. Right? sorry to break it to you, you're good at something, and it will happen. Okay. Um, of the five skill sets: platform, reader stewardship, publisher relations, distribution, and book launch. You're going to have a favorite, and your favorite's probably going to be something different than you're really good at. If it's the same thing where you scored high on something you like and you're good at it, you're golden. Um, if you notice that, wow, you scored really high in this one area, but be like this other area more, like, wow, you scored really high on distribution, but you love reader stewardship, then you can either add to what you're naturally good at, or go with what you have the most fun at. Okay. You can be creative in this process. You are creative people. You can be creative in this structure. Okay. And then once you've added to what's you're naturally good at, you can see some results. Again, these are all repeatable processes that we have, so you can actually quantify your results. We're not just saying, oh, you're going to have better results. We're going to show you, okay, look at this, and then look at this, and compare them, and you can tell which one is better. Okay, we show you where to compare, and so you can repeat that and grow it. Okay, so once you've worked on what you're good at, you can start adding the pieces that you've missed or avoided. Um, I have to admit that one of the sections I avoid is publisher relations. I love my publishers, and they've always been really good to me. Um, I just trust them a lot, and everyone is like, no, you gotta treat it like a business deal. Like, I know, I read my contracts, I negotiate my contracts. Um, but yeah, so there's some things you're gonna like, and there's some parts that you're not gonna like. Do the things that you like, and add to the parts that are you think are harder. Okay? And then when in doubt, start with platform, because that's the way you connect to the world. Okay, like I said, next week our free class is platform. Rona's teaching it, and it, it's fun. All right, so next, questions. All right, I see some questions. Whoops, I don't know if I, okay, let's see, let me read the question. We have access to Will we have access to the PowerPoint presentation? We are going to send you guys a recording of this show or webinar, so you'll have access to the recording, and then you can do all that fun stuff. All right. Okay. Any other questions? How long does it take to learn these skill sets? Good question. All right. You know parts of it already. Okay. Depending on what you're good at or where you have your natural talents, some areas will be easier to fill in than others. We say start with platform, and even if you don't have a very clear, enunciated platform topic, you can pick something that seems close, and you'll be targeting your ideal reader, and then you can go through the reader stewardship steps and the publisher relations steps and the distribution steps and the book launch steps, and then just the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, and the closer you'll get to your ideal reader. Regarding the will they be able to see the slides? Yes, the whole thing is being recorded. You'll be able to see it and watch it again. Does that answer the question now? Okay, question. How do you find places where your readers hang out? Okay, great question. It's about platform. So it all goes back to what you enjoy talking about and finding people who enjoy collecting information on that. Okay, so for different platforms, your people are going to be hanging out at different locations just naturally. So let's say that's I'll go with my platform. My platform is healthy communication. Okay, I have over, I had like 400 books, and over 130 of them were on languages. And I didn't even realize my platform was on healthy communication, even though I was teaching healthy communication. People that are interested in this congregate in certain areas. We have the Society of Nonviolent Communication, Compassionate Communication, local shelters, I talk to schools. These are all places that people are interested in, resolving bullying issues and stuff. There's places that these people naturally hang out. So, type in what you like online, do a Google search for whatever it is, and you'll find tons of results, tons of groups. I suggest picking something local, or at least somewhere you can go. Okay, if you're already online and you go to a certain place to find information on whatever, one of my friends, she loves historical politics. Like, okay, if you love that, there are some other people on the planet that love that too. I had no idea. We found there are huge groups interested in still debating like historical political figures and what led into these political intrigues. So she has a huge avenue where she can go and share all this information she's already collected on historical politics, and these people are just eating it up because it's information that they enjoy. Okay, so does that answer the question of where you go to find these people? You're probably already hanging out with them somewhere in your life. So just do it a little bit more intentionally. All right. It seems easier for nonfiction. um, Actually, your platform has nothing to do with what you write. It is what you believe the world needs more of. It is the impact you want to make on the world. Um, so if you write nonfiction, people who enjoy your platform also read in your genre. Your genre would just be nonfiction. My best book sales have been in nonfiction. So yeah, it's just a matter of connecting to people. People buy things based on emotion. So it's what they feel about you. If they feel nothing, that's exactly what they buy. And your platform is to help connect you with those people on something that you are intrinsically excited about, so that they can feel that excitement and that they can feel an emotion. They can feel your excitement for it. Okay. Do you have any suggestions about how to collect an email list? Or we'll have classes on that in the future. We will definitely have classes on that in the future. One suggestion is to go to a local event that has that is on the topic that's on your platform topic, and mingle and say, hey, I'm an author, and I would love to share some really cool information on this topic with you. That's what we do for a social media plan and the reader stewardship, is we show people how to collect the information that they're collecting anyway and send it out in like email blasts. If you've ever gone to an author event and put your email down as getting on someone else's list, look at what they send around. A lot of them are like, oh, buy my book, and you always go, okay, unsubscribe. But there are a few out there that are doing it right, and they actually share really cool information. Every month I send out an email to my ladies, the women I work with in the shelters and stuff, about like 2 things they can do to help them with this healthy communication. And they love it, and they're like, oh, can we share? I'm like, go for it. Right? On the email is my contact information. I don't always have a book that's new, but I always have a link to where they can buy my books if they're interested. Okay, I'm not saying, hey, buy my book. It's kind of like in the footer, saying, hey, if you like this, well, by the way, I'm also an author. Okay, so did it give you some ideas of how to collect an email list? Right. There are laws associated with email marketing now. So you have to have them do, like, you have to get their email, you have to send them an email saying, okay, is it okay for you to be on my email list? And they have to respond yes. So our process totally takes care of that. I'm very, very specific about my email lists. I don't let just anybody on it, on my author email list. And that's why I have such a huge capture rate, because they have to work to be in my secret club. That's why. All right. Any other questions? Great. Okay. Well, I don't see any, and it's almost 8. So let me go to the next slide here. Boom. Okay. Next steps. If you do have more questions, like I said, we're recording this, and we will send you a link let me stop recording now.